doesn't have to be excellence. It doesn't have to be perfection. It doesn't have to be 100% consistency.
Better than you were the day before.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Just do some extra shit you didn't do, and surely you'll see results.
This is about control. Everybody knows. Everyone complies. We're the kinds of pros. I don't need a plane. I just hit the road. I do what I want. I can't sell my soul. Market about to crash. This is what you chose. Ruining the country. I think that's the goal. You gonna take the mark. I take narrow roads. I'm a man of God. I can never fold.
All right. Here we go. Welcome to the Protect Your Purpose podcast, where we talk whiskey, business, friends, family, and freedom. I am your host, Matt Marchese, and this is my co-host, Zach Grady. Welcome to the show, dude.
What's going on?
I didn't give you any stupid, funny, ridiculous, retarded, no sense making intro today. Just said your regular name. How do you feel about that?
I like it.
Good.
I like my name.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Jason Derulo.
Sing your name out loud.
Yeah. Didn't we just talk about that?
Yeah.
We sure did. And of course, and my always lovely wife, Lindy. Welcome to the show, honey.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Glad to have you back in the studio again. I think this is, are we on a streak?
2 in a row.
2 in a row?
NBA Jam rules say we're heating up.
She's on fire. We're heating up. Here we go. All right. Well, welcome to the show. How you feeling? We got some faster. You're not fasting. Oh, you're doing your regular fast, right?
Yeah.
What's your fast looking like?
Normally 16 to 24, somewhere in between there.
So no method to the madness, minimum
Anytime.
16, but you're not really running over 24s.
Usually not.
You did I was going to say you did a longer one just recently, weren't you on
I've done some longer
the
ones.
second day or something?
48s to 72s.
Lindy and I are doing currently, we're going to really...
In the midst.
Yeah, we're in the midst of a hyper fast. We're doing a 72-hour. It's our longest yet. I don't know if we've gone... Well, I'm not trying to give away our timing and record and delivery of this. So the people who are following us on other social platforms and not just this, don't be busting us out that we recorded the day before or 2 days. We know when we recorded.
Mm-hmm.
What are we on? What hour are we on?
Almost 27.
27 hours. How you feeling?
I feel great.
Are you hungry?
Not really, because I have this water beside me at all times.
I will say, you guys did it right. You woke up in the morning and ate, didn't you? You had breakfast.
We had a big
and then started.
Delicious protein breakfast.
Because that hardest part for me is like the 12 to 18 hour when you're that initial, like, I should probably be eating. But you would have been sleeping during that. Because normally when I've started fast, I've ate the night before and then just carried it on. So the middle of the next day, I'm like, and I'm struggling the rest of the day. Where you guys probably struggled a little bit during the day, but then slept during the time where, in my experience, is the hardest, like the 12 to 24 hour mark.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out kind of where we...
Yesterday was easy for me.
Yeah, yesterday was easy. So we switched. We also did another thing the right way, not to sit here and brag about all the things we do right. But we also did another thing the right way, and that is for 65 straight days prior to, we did minimum 16-hour fasts, maximum probably 24, 25, 26-hour fasts. Like, we rarely went over 24 hours. It would be just if we got busy and weren't thinking about it. But 16 to 20-hour fast was our average. Maybe 20-hour fast might be average. Lindy did a lot of them, but so we did what Joel told us to do on the episode. Like, start small. Start with 16s, go into 20s, do some 24s. Once you get on a routine, on a cycle, this is what Joel explained was, I think this is what he explains, well, at least one of my takeaways were, if you're going to do 20-hour fast or 16-hour fast or 20-hour fast, and then you do like 8 to noon, and then you eat for X amount of hours, or 8 to 4 for a 20-hour, then your only hunger or your only eating window is from 4 to 8. So you've got 4 hours a day. Then you condition your body for that 4 hours a day. You go into a 3-day fast. You're only hungry you're only hungry 3 times.
Right.
Rather than if you're on a normal eating schedule where you eat 3 to 6 meals a day, and then you go into a fast, you're hungry 3 hours after you ate.
Yeah.
So I wasn't hungry all day yesterday, and I only got hungry this morning, and I think it was right at that 20 to 24 hours, but I was sleeping for that eating window that we were normally on.
Yeah.
So to complicate things further, we switched our eating schedule to where we are literally hungry while we sleep to do that, and we were kind of conditioned.
Yep.
Now today it might be a little
I was gonna
different.
say that food yesterday that we had does no longer
That's
matter
gone.
She
today.
gone.
She gone.
She go.
Full of water and electrolytes now.
Anyway, listen, we jumped right into the conversation. We got some housekeeping here to do.
Yes.
So, first of all, please, we appreciate you. Follow us on all the social medias, all the platforms. Go listen to the podcast, download it,
Like,
subscribe.
comment.
Man, y'all know what to
Anything
do.
helps.
Yeah, do all of the things that you know you're supposed to do. Further instructions to follow. We'll be more specific, but we greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate you. We appreciate your love, your support, your engagement with us on not only this platform but all the other ones. We started this thing not long ago, a year ago, with literally 3, 4, 5 followers, our family members, and 0 people giving probably a single solitary shit about anything we've done. We've grown our audience. We've got, 6, 7, 8,000 subscribers on one, 50,000 followers on another. We've got people following along and engaged. We really, really, really appreciate each and every one of you. So please continue that love and support. Goes a long way. Helps us remain the freest podcast in all of the land.
Yes, sir.
Where else could they? What are the places they can find us?
All over, man. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple, Spotify.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down for future episodes so we can just look at it and we can say, follow us on TikTok, follow us.
Check.
Yeah, going
Check.
through.
Check.
Anyway. So thank you. We appreciate you. I don't know if we say it enough, but we really, really, really appreciate the support, the love, the like, the shares, the comments, the engagement. If not for the first 3 months or 4 months or whatever, it felt like we were talking to absolutely no one. Then we had some bangers. Now we get several million views a month and hundreds of thousands of traffic coming through our social media platforms. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
It's fun.
yeah, appreciate that love. Anyway, so today we're going to, segue into what we kind of led off the show with it. Complacency is our word of the day.
Ooh, I like that.
So we're going to talk about the word complacency. Thank you for the word, Zach. And how it relates to this. I think complacency is something that we kind of even started off the show talking about with fasting, and how easy it is to get complacent, dieting. Coming off of a holiday where we're on the 75 hard program, no drinking. We're on this diet. We went through Halloween, no candy, no
Our
sugar.
birthdays.
Yeah, but remained, disciplined and displayed at least some level of fight for the complacency that gets us all. Zach, why'd you pick this word?
Yeah, so the reason I came up with it was because over the holiday seasons, it seems to be a common theme where most people get complacent, right? A lot of people refer to it as separation season. Ed Milet, if you want to listen to a good podcast on it, just did one on it recently, where this is the time now to separate yourself from the pack, where most people are taking their foot off the gas pedal over the holidays, relaxing a little bit more. You, if you want to surpass or continue to progress, put your foot harder on the pedal and double your workouts or double your emails or whatever it is you're trying to achieve. You're going to catch those people that are in front of you, and you're going to greatly surpass and create a greater separation between you and your competitors.
Bro, this is something that successful people have been taking advantage of since the beginning of time and success. Warren Buffett says it, you buy when everyone else is afraid. It's the same exact concept. When everyone else shuts down, when everyone else is taking time off, whether it be because whatever the driving factor it is, be it, holiday, be it, whatever, a weekend, be it birthdays, or be it a pandemic, civil unrest, economic downturn,
Oh yeah.
or pressure from, outside family members to vacation or to go out to golf. Like, this is something that successful people have understood. The same exact concept applied all over since the beginning of time. When everyone else is off, Kobe Bryant, he did the 3 workouts thing. It was when everyone else is sleeping, all I have to do is show up. And I'm doing, infinite times more than the person who literally is doing nothing. And it's it's the same concept that I've talked about on the show several times before, which is I decided that I needed to make changes in my life. I was being consumed by distractions, which incite that level of complacency. Other people are probably, if I had to guess, the biggest contributing factor to complacency. Other people's influence.
Yep, I'd agree with that.
And if you can avoid that by just eliminating the things that are stealing your time, reallocate those to the very few things that are important, the level of success will go bonkers. And basically, it's the same thing. It's the word complacency. Like, if you're making, $55,000 a year, you're living paycheck to paycheck, you got a big, beautiful house, you've got a family, you've got kids, and you're out on the golf course, that is complacency. Like, you have gotten complacent. You are satisfied with a mediocre lifestyle, and you have chosen to now settle there by way of going out to the golf course and doing something that, I don't know, don't get me started on that, but society has probably convinced you that you somehow deserve. And I would tell people I don't golf for years and years, probably 7 years. You want to go golfing? I don't golf. Why? Because I don't deserve to golf yet. Like, golf is a retired man's sport. Like, it's a complacency sport. I'm going to go free my mind of all things. Now, there's an exception. There's a lot of business deals get done on a golf course. And client wants to go play golf. I'll go play golf, But it's the same thing, man. Just around the holidays, I agree. It's something that people do. You're on a diet, all of a sudden, out the window. Here's the problem with the holidays. Every single month, there are at least a holiday or multiple holidays.
And on the Milet podcast, he says most people turn a holiday into a month.
Yeah,
Like, you think about December, man. Everybody just, well, fuck it. We just had Thanksgiving. Christmas is coming up.
Yeah.
New Year, I'll make a New Year's resolution, and it'll be all back to normal,
Yeah, dude. Again, I already said don't get me started. I'm going to go down that route, but it's society that has shaped us into doing this. Like, society says you eat candy on Halloween. Society says it's okay to let your kids go take candy from strangers and then go sit in their living room or bedroom floor, sort it all out, thousands of pieces of candy that came from strangers, and then just sit there and pump their blood and their body full of what we know is poison, because society just says it's just what normal people do. And then we'd say, why can't kids we did it when we were growing up. It's just normal. But that has become so frequent that it is more time doing the shitty behaviors than we are actually. It's no longer once a month. It's no longer once a year or twice a year. It's all the time. And then, like you said, they extend it. Milet does something really cool. I remember, I don't listen to him often, but actually Jordan sent me a podcast and we talked about how he breaks his day down into like maybe 6-hour days. Like, he's got 4 days.
4 6-hour periods of his day.
Maybe, like, he sleeps for 6 hours. He breaks his days into, like, his awake time into 3 days. So he crams this in. So he's basically getting 3 days worth of productivity for everyone else's 1 day worth of productivity. I mean, that guy is serious.
Next level.
Yeah, he's next level productivity.
Yeah.
But the reality is, all you really have to do, dude, is just not buy into all that bullshit. Like, I'm not super consistent. It's something that I struggle with. But I'm consistent enough to understand my lack of consistency, number one, and just stay engaged and stay in the fight more than I'm out of the fight. That's all you really need to do. You don't need 3 days to somebody else's 1, because most people are only using 1/3 of their day.
And that's not saying to not enjoy the holidays or enjoy your birthday or enjoy these things, but separation season talks about when somebody else is eating that entire piece of cake on their birthday, you have a couple bites and put it away. You know, that can be separation. It's not completely eliminating everything you enjoy or have fun doing. It's doing it in moderation and doing it less than everybody else is doing it. Because most people get consumed with Thanksgiving and Christmas, and they just use the whole month as an excuse to gorge themselves and not stay disciplined,
You know how Lindy remains disciplined? She just says, I'm not going. She will cancel Christmas if she's on the program. If she's fasting, she's like, nope. If she can't drink, she's not going. She's like, no.
Listen, I've done way better this time than last time.
You have. You've
but
kind
also
of
that's
embraced it.
Because I found Corona NA.
There you go.
It's so good.
But that's also knowing yourself. Like, she knows if I go, I don't have the self-control to not do it if everybody else is doing it. So know yourself is probably key number one, which good on you for knowing if I have to go, I'm not going to be able to control myself, so.
Dude, those are for back to the frequency of these things. Like, every weekend is a reason to party.
Mm-hmm.
People do this not only on holidays, okay? People do this on Wednesdays and Thursday days and Friday days and Saturdays.
Thursday.
Every day is another reason to party. And I'm not saying don't enjoy your life, but if you're every weekend, if you can't wait for Friday to come and then you can't wait for we're just moving the days back. Like 6 days a week, you should probably be pretty well engaged for the majority of the day. Frisella has his program, the power list. Everyone has the big three, daily non-negotiables. You don't have to be consistent in everything. You just have to be more consistent than not in the few things that actually matter.
Or that are important to you.
Right.
Like,
that are important, right?
Being better in business isn't important to everybody. Being better in fitness isn't important to everybody.
Right.
Being better family men or women aren't necessarily important to everybody. Like, whatever is important to you or where you want to achieve.
That's going to better you, obviously.
That's going to better you. Some people are okay just being part of the pack. And, these motivational podcasts or these motivational topics are for the 1%ers. 1% of the population want to be high achievers and want to do what it takes to win. Some people are fine just being part of the pack. They don't want to be out in front leading. They just want to be in the pack doing what they do, which is cool, whatever makes you happy. But
when you're doing this, so kind of to preface this whole conversation, when you're creating, before we talk about complacency, you have to decide what your purpose is, what the reason is, what are you trying to do, what's the intent, and the first time I ever did it, it came from me establishing what are my roles. My roles are a parent. I'm a dad. Mm-hmm. My roles are a husband. I am a husband. My roles are a boss. My roles are an entrepreneur. My roles are a friend. I am a brother. I am a son. And then you kind of go into what are the kind of top 5 roles, top 3, whatever you feel your capacity is, that I need to focus on. What are the most important things? It's very important to me that I be a good dad. It's very important to me that I be a good husband. It's very important to me that I be a good brother or a son. It's obviously important to me that I be a good entrepreneur, business owner, boss, leader, confidant, whatever, trainer. So you write down your roles and then you choose top 5, top 3, whatever. And then those daily tasks that support the ideal self in that role. And those are the things that you need to do. In fact, I was listening, I talked about it on one of my stories, Joel Staley, speaking of that dude, he had somebody on his podcast. It was really cool. I forget his name, Josiah something. He talked about something similar, like becoming your inner beast, becoming attractive. And it was like the 5 Ps, parent, partner, producer, and then whatever else. But basically what he was doing, to that point, all these programs are exactly the same. You have to choose what's important to you.
Prioritize.
And then fucking discipline. Yes, then prioritize those things. That's the things you need to be. You can't sacrifice. You cannot be complacent in. You have to be dedicated. And you don't have to be perfect. You have to be more often than not. And if you can, hey, today's a loss. I lost that day. I failed to produce my content. I failed to, spend time with my kids, or I failed to get my big report done that I had to do for my business or whatever. All you have to do is be more consistent than not. And if you're 70%, 80%, you're probably 100% better than most people.
Yeah, I mean, you hear the 80-20 rule all the time.
Sure.
Most people associate it with fitness and food, but you can apply that to anything, dude.
Yeah. Especially if you're like, a high achiever, somebody who can actually, vision build and execute things that, they're out there, that can do more than what most people can do in half the time. Like, dude, spend all the time, and you're then compounding your results on that, instead of being like, well, I can do it in half the time, so I'm just going to waste the rest of the time. Use those skills and those talent. That's a gift, that some people have. And to just be better at doing shit. They can do it faster.
Part of the piece of complacency is, one, not being complacent yourself, but two, identifying the times when other people tend to be more complacent and taking advantage of those moments and opportunities. Like we talked about the holidays, obviously.
Right.
A lot of people take a knee, relax, whether that be fitness, business,
whatever it is.
And you take advantage of those opportunities. We talked before we got on air, Friday afternoons. There's studies shown that Friday afternoons are the least productive time frame
of
for
course
business in America, because everybody's looking forward to the weekends. So Fridays and the weekends, take advantage of those times to set yourself apart, whether that be, once again, fitness or business. Like, are you sending emails on Friday trying to gain more business if you're in sales? Are you sending emails on the weekends, making phone calls on the weekends? And if you're trying to be a good salesman or businessman or whatever it is, where are those opportunities for you?
And kind of going back to preface that again, like, stop acting. Society has convinced an entire population, at least an American population, that they deserve some shit that they don't actually deserve. Okay. I see it in business. I see people that have, a decent level of success, and then they're like, oh, I'm making $100,000 a year. I'm making $150,000 a year. Like, I'm living my best life. And then that's it. That they get complacent because they believe that they are owed this lifestyle. And then, rest assured, they go in this circle, and now they've just caught up with their life. They're just in the same game, a different level. Complacency takes place, but it's because of the outside influence from society as a whole. There's a lot of components to society, the media, friends, the school systems, the daily norms, the holidays, all the things that just create this societal norm that people fall victim to, instead of the other side, which is, no, I'm not going to do that because I don't deserve that. I'm not going to do that because, like, you bringing it right to your point, everyone else is going on, what do they call it? Cocktail hour, the Fridays.
Yeah.
Happy hour.
Happy hour Friday. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, Friday afternoon club is what I was thinking. But it's a Friday happy hour. Friday afternoon club. What? Friday afternoon club? What have you done in your life to where every Friday you're going to cut your day off early and you're going to avoid your family, your responsibilities at work, your fitness, your health? Like, you're going to do that. Not only are you going to do that, society is now making it the norm. It's where you go. You have an excuse like, oh, I'm going with business people. We're going to go. Get out of here. You don't deserve to do that when everyone else is doing that. Take advantage of that time and grind. Put in that effort. And people just don't understand. I think they don't understand two things. Number one, that what they're doing shouldn't, even though it's the norm, it shouldn't be. And I don't think they fully understand what that little bit of extra discipline and that little bit of extra commitment will actually do over the long term.
And I think you mentioned this before we got on the air. Like, working 9 to 5 Monday through Friday wasn't always the norm. Like, people got in their minds that those are the only hours I should be working, and I'm entitled to all this free time and all this extra time. But
Oh, for sure.
that 9 to 5 wasn't always a thing.
Fuck
like,
no. No, dude.
So
think about the farmers.
Yeah, imagine if our ancestors only worked 9 to 5. Where would we be at today? You know what I mean? Like,
We'd be filling pails of water. We'd be third world. We wouldn't have shit because a bunch of lazy ass. Can you imagine what you're basically saying is, can you imagine this generation actually building this country or this world? God, it would be awful.
Terrible.
It would be terrible. It wouldn't be done. It would be lazy because because the
entitled, like you said, they feel entitled to the time off.
right.
Fucking earn it, man.
Earn it, and people don't. I don't know if they get it. I don't know if they understand it or if they're just so tricked. But entitled. Get my advice or my experience share to our listeners and to the audience would be, stop believing that you deserve some shit. If you're 30, nobody owes you shit. You think you're 30 is, I think, when you think you're a grown-up. It's the first time where you're like, man, it's not even like, oh, I'm 30 now. It's the life experience of a 30-year-old. You've had enough time on earth, enough life experience, enough jobs to where eventually enough mediocre success levels to where you're like, oh, you're starting to get a little more money. You can buy top shelf cocktail. You can spend $28 on a cocktail if you want, and you're usually just fine. That is when the shit goes south. It's right there. It's because that's when the pivot should be into this full court press. That's when the Friday afternoon clubs come. That's when you got some kids and you got babies or however old your kids are. That is when your group, the rest of the people who are taking off, are the ones that understand the complacency, and that's when people are failing. The 23-year-olds, like, you got time.
Think about it in this regard. Like, if you're building a business or in sales or anything like that, would you rather work 9 to 5 for essentially the rest of your life and have your weekends free and your evenings free? Or would you rather work your ass off for 10 to 20 years and then be able to work whenever the hell you wanted for the rest of your life?
Yeah, dude.
Like,
yeah, you got to work your ass off.
It's always that instant factor. Like, everybody wants the instant gratification.
That's
the instant
society, bro.
results.
That was not always like that. That's what it is. It's
Right.
this fast-paced world that, like, our kids are growing up in, where Cash asked me the other day, well, where did you get the information? I'm like, how do I know that? Because I didn't have Google when I was like, YouTube wasn't a thing when I was growing up. I had to figure this out. And he was like, well, how did you get information
If you didn't have
if
Google.
you didn't have the internet? And I'm like, right. Now, and then I explained to him, you had to go either A, find someone who knew some shit, so you had to find someone who studied, or other people's experiences. That's where we learned it from. We put in the work, figured it out, and didn't have this instant gratification. What it's done to our youth in our society is all things are supposed to happen right now. People aren't appreciating the value of actually putting in the time, putting in the effort over long periods of time to actually achieve the desired result.
Yeah.
Which,
I agree.
it's kind of a lost art. And I don't know, not to
but-
go all the way back, but complacency, it's causing it. Society is causing this complacency.
And that's where you create separation. If you understand that and you can execute it.
Oh, yeah.
It's
yeah.
a lot easier nowadays to create separation because not everybody has that in them. Like, they just fucking want instant gratification. So if you're part of the 1% that's pushing, it's going to be a lot easier because people don't want it as bad anymore.
1%, you think that's who's pushing?
I think it's less than that, if I'm being honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You think less than 1% are pushing beyond the average level of, or norm? I know, because by average, it isn't 1%.
Yeah.
but you think less than 1% are pushing to what level? Like an extraordinary level.
Right.
Because the average level is shit.
Yes.
And that shows. And it shows in my kids.
There was
shows in our youth.
I forgot where I heard this, but if you practiced for 3 hours a week on a new hobby, like say you wanted to play the guitar or be a painter or whatever the case is, right? If you practiced 3 hours a week for 1 year, at the end of that year, you would be in the top 5% of whatever said hobby is.
Yeah, man. I think that's probably true.
Super interesting.
But people just aren't willing to put in that amount of work. But if we're talking excellence in business or fitness, or that's way less than 1%, dude.
I think that's probably true.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, listen, I think we beat the complacency. If you don't understand our complacency word by now, I don't know, man. Just understand that society is after you, man. Just understand that society is a thief. Your friends, society doesn't mean to be a thief. It was, whoever influenced society may or may not have intended it to be this way. But your friends aren't trying to be a thief. People that say you need to have a better work, you're working too much. You need to have a better work-life balance. They're not trying to hurt you. They just think that, that's the most important thing. They have a different perspective.
Not part of the 1%.
Well, it's like
they're happy being in the middle, being part of the pack.
Yeah, and
if you're not, you can't listen to that.
That's right. Fight that shit and be extraordinary and choose 3 to 5 ways or aspects of your life, be it your marriage or your friendships or your, parenting or your fitness or your professional life. Pick 3 to 5 aspects of your life. Pick, 1 to 2 daily tasks for each one of those aspects of life and just do them every single day. # no days off. You don't deserve to spend every Friday on the golf course. You don't deserve, Friday afternoon club and happy hour. You don't need that. It isn't really that important. Ultimately, I think that's consistent enough. Complacency doesn't have to be excellence. It doesn't have to be perfection. It doesn't have to be 100% consistency.
Better than you were the day before.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Just do some extra shit you didn't do, and surely you'll see results. So anyway, that's all I got for this thing.
Mic
you got
drop.
anything else? Oh yeah, boom, boom. Drop a effect in there. Boom. I'm gonna add an explosion into this episode. So anyway, all
we
right.
should get a little soundboard, like whoop. Just
Put it on the list.
crickets when you say a dumb joke.
Let's get it.
All that good stuff.
I think Jay's got a soundboard. We've got one at the Streamlabs deck over there. We can drop in sounds. I just don't know how to work it. And
yeah.
Ian's not here to fix it. So.
YouTube.
Yeah, we'll have to YouTube.
We'll have Cash YouTube it later.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, all right. Well, listen, let's wrap this thing up. As we started the show off with, we certainly appreciate every single one of you, every one of your love and support. We appreciate you liking, commenting, sharing, doing all the things on the show. It means the world to us, and it helps us remain the freest podcast in all of the world. Make sure you do that. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Awesome. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, find your purpose, serve your purpose, and protect your purpose, people. Peace.
Bye.